Hello, all fans of the Azores, and welcome back to the next place we went on our journey. Today we went to Cidades. I think I'm almost saying that correctly. It is a town very close to Mosteros. It is right here. So pretty much what we did was drive up the mountain. I think we went this way, actually. And down the mountain. Something like that. It was not as straight a shot as that. But anyway, it was beautiful. It was kind of in a valley. You can see the lakes here. These are the volcanic crater lakes. One of them's green, the other's blue, kind of, although live, it didn't look as pronounced as I've seen in aerial photos elsewhere, but anyways, let's take a look. Here we are with the first look at Cidades. And I already have one correction to make from the previous video. I outlined the wrong road. We actually, if you go back and look at the picture of the map, we actually drove southwest and then kind of came up northeast right into the city. You can actually see the roads on the map. Don't know what I was thinking, man. Lights get when lights turn on, things get nerve-wracking. Okay, here we are looking at a map of Cidades. That's my best impression of what I'm hearing on Google Translate anyway. And you can see, shoot, I should have done a video of this too, but our intent was to follow the yellow brick road, if you can see that. So the white square is where we started, and you can kind of see a yellow trail. And we were supposed to follow that, and we unintentionally stayed right and kind of went right around the edge of the lake up to about the northernmost part, maybe a little further into the woods before we turned around. Probably a good thing we didn't take the yellow road because that goes way up around the volcanic rim, so that would have been a lot of uphill climbing and what might have been tough. So we stayed around the edge of the lake, but let's get into that. So that's the first lake there to our right. And as you can see, we are definitely in a valley, so this is the volcanic crater all the way around. There's a sign somewhere, I think it said the whole thing is like 600 meters deep. And on first read, it makes it sound like... That's my brother's girlfriend's dad talking to the pigeons. It made it sound like the lake was like 600 meters deep. I don't think that's the case. I think they meant from like the top of the crater all the way down to the bottom of the lake. So not exactly sure how deep the lake is, but I don't think it's 600 meters deep. I got a few pictures. So this is actually sugarcane, and I neglected to point that out when we were walking around Mosteros. Lots of sugarcane there, along with everything else. Portugal grows everything. This island grows everything. So much corn. The only place I've seen more corn is Illinois. You literally have beachfront property growing corn. It's quite remarkable. And okay, these things, shoot, I meant to look up what these were called. And now I forget. I'm going to have to do that in between videos. They come from Himalayan mountains. They are related to honeysuckles and ginger root. I think they're called like a Himalayan ginger, but that doesn't sound quite right. Anyway, if you cut them up by the root, it smells like ginger. If you suck on their flowers, it tastes like honeysuckles. And they are a big-time invasive species here. The guy who did our canyoning told us that 50, 60 years ago, somebody brought one over to use as a decorative plant in the garden, and these things are everywhere now, completely covering the mountains. Everywhere you look, you see these things. The guy who did the canyoning said, you know, if they have an avalanche or something, clears out the vegetation, within 2 weeks, these are the first things growing back. And they grow out of the side of the mountain on vertical rock faces, just about, it seems like. And they have no idea how they're going to get rid of them. So they are pretty, but not what São Miguel is looking for. And I'm sure they're probably infiltrated the rest of the Azores as well. These, I also learned, are an invasive species. These are hydrangeas. However, they don't cause nearly the problems that the ginger root does. I don't think they're quite as aggressive, spreading, or whatnot. Anyway, all the locals we talked to didn't really care about these. They cared about the ginger root. And no clue if that's invasive or not. Like I said, I think these islands are only like, or at least this island is only like 36,000 years old. So you gotta wonder what possible native species there could be anyway. We learned that there's only one native fish. I think I might have mentioned that in the dive videos. So this lake actually, at least at some point in time, was stocked with fish. We're gonna see one here coming up, I think. Didn't see a whole lot of fish in here, but I did see one. And I doubt it was the native European eel, I think is what the sole native freshwater fish that is. Obviously, there's tons of native saltwater animals. There's more ginger root, Himalayan ginger, whatever the real name for that is. And there's one native mammal. It's the Azores bat. No clue how either of those animals got here. I'm assuming the bat got blown over in a storm, and there's the fish. See the fish? See the fish? It's right there. Pretty good sized one, but probably not a native species. Yeah, I'm assuming the eel just swam 1,000 miles through the ocean. Maybe it has a tolerance for salt. I don't know. Maybe it got caught up in a storm too. It's maybe possible. But just a very, very pretty area here. Invasive or not, good looking flowers. And you can see just the steep cliffs. Well, maybe not here, but in the last segment, you can see just how awesome this crater looks. Yeah, I was wondering if this clearing is natural or not. They probably keep it that way, right? It just seems like the natural growth would take that over otherwise. This does not look like a natural rock feature to me. I don't. Now, I was looking at this. I don't know. I think it might be some kind of fish farm. I don't really understand what was going on here. I think you're going to see it in the next segment. There was some fish. Yeah. I think they're kind of trapped in here, these little ones. I don't know what for or why. I think they're trapped in here. I don't know why else they'd just be hanging out here. I don't know if they're growing these to get bigger and then release them into the lake just for, you know, recreational fishing or what the deal is, but quite a few of them in here. Didn't see any other fish anywhere else on the shores of the lake, so I'm very much inclined to believe that those fish are stuck in there. Alright, here's a map again. This is where we really began to realize we were going off course. So you can't see my pointer, of course, but you can kind of see where that yellow trail starts and where it diverges from the edge of the lake. And you know, we took a right, should have taken a left, and we ended up probably where that red beacon is right now, almost right next to the lake instead of up on the ridge. But like I said, that would have been some tough hiking. I'll just leave it at that. Found this guy riding a horse. Yeah, there was also lots of four-wheelers, which, quite honestly, I didn't care too much for. They were loud and noisy and taking over the trail, but I know my brother wanted to rent some and ride around, but I don't know. Kind of kills the nature mood, you know. And we found some ducks who like doggy treats, apparently. Trying to be fair and balanced, make sure everybody gets one. And he dropped that one and totally lost it. Here, comes the big mama duck.
Oh, the mama.
I want some food too.
Sorry. We are feeding your babies. You want one too?
Yeah, I wonder when,
I don't have a thing.
I mean, I assume that's the mother or something. I don't know when the red thing on the face starts, but must be an adult feature of this species. And so we were kind of the northern part of the lake now. You can see ginger growing everywhere. And these trees must have been planted. They really look good, but they are just a bit too organized for this to be natural, in my opinion. But who would go and plant trees on the side of a hill? I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, look how they look like they're planted in rows almost. I don't know, maybe not, maybe not. Folks are saying these look like hemlocks from North Carolina forest in the mountains there. Maybe they are. I'm not familiar with hemlocks or what those trees in either place might be. More ginger root. More hydrangea. What do you know? No, I was looking at the bug on that one. Yeah, it would have been nice to walk around the whole lake, but that would have been 7-8 miles or so, Alright, this is a totally different spot. I think we walked here. We walked here. Yeah, we found some cows. Two weird things about these cows. They had flies all over their eyes, and not a single fly was bothering me. I don't know what that was about. Poor cow feller there wanted to play with a doggy, I think. Must get a little bored in there. And the other thing with the cows and the farm animals, I assume this is just, you know, how things are over here, but they had a lot of them chained up, which, I don't know, you don't normally see cows and horses chained up in, you know, United States, but, you know, different country, different culture. That was just a little unsettling for me to see, but that's just the way they do things, I guess. Maybe it's a law. But this was the South Lake. That bridge in the in the previous segment, if you saw it, that was kind of the divider. And Nina the doggy just came over, and the ducks did not want to stick around and say hello. They got all of them agitated. Look at all the ducks go swimming out of the water. You get one frantic quack, and all the ducks are listening. And that little white doggy is the reason. Yeah, I can't even remember what color lake this was supposed to be. Man, if you go online and look at pictures of Cidades,
Are you guys
Cidades.
They look like twins.
I mean, look what's under the water there. It looks like people just dump their Christmas trees. But no, I think that's natural growing green water plants.
Very nice little,
I don't know why one lake looks blue and the other looks green. You would think this stuff would just grow in all of them. I mean, from here, this looks like the green lake, but maybe this is the blue one. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at more photos. Maybe even check a satellite. Maybe the photos I looked at were doctored or something. I don't know. That seems unlikely. Why would somebody do that? But who knows? Who knows? But this bridge is kind of the dividing line between the lakes, as you can see, and they do have, you know, waterways connecting them underneath, and you can rent kayaks over here. So this is the big lake. This is the one we were walking around in the beginning. You can see the paddle boats going under the bridge. I don't think they have Red Hot Chili Peppers playing under there, but maybe you gotta rent the boat to find out. Alright, this actually is a little hard to read. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit just to see, give you a gist of, you're not going to see zooming in. I was zooming in on my player right now. Alright, they're talking about a volcano. Where was it? Alright, average diameter of 5.3 kilometers. That's the volcanic crater. And a maximum depth of 630 meters. Alright, that's where I got that from. Yeah, I do not think that lake is 630 meters deep. I mean, that would be like, what? half a mile or something. I think they're talking 630 meters from the top of the canyon or top of the crater to the bottom of the lake. But just a guess, I don't know. Uh-oh. Now I'm MPV keyboard shortcuts, man. I'm trying to... How do you... Oh, there we go. I'm trying to zoom out. I pushed the wrong things and added an average delay of 100 milliseconds, but I think I undid it. And apparently I took the same picture twice. And some pictures of the foliage around the lakes. The ever-present ginger is there, along with some purple flowers. Very nice. Got some more kayakers going through. Yeah, we kind of wanted to do some kayaks, but I don't know. Sort of ran out of time. And yeah, we didn't. We drove to the top of the mountain. We did not do any hiking up there. It would have been a trek. It was. If you want to do that, you better get here in the morning and bring some food and water because you're going to need it. This was some cool house we saw along the way. I think from one of our bird's eye perches later on, we can barely see this. I'll try to point it out. I think I got a sign about this. Yes. So here you go. House owned by the heirs of... All right. It's my cue to stop reading. You can read that yourself. Rich guy lived here is what I think that says. And it's pictures of a bee on a flower. I think these are marigolds, if I'm not mistaken, which I very well could be mistaken. But in the moment, I'm calling them marigolds. If I'm wrong, please correct me. These look similar to marigolds in the United States anyway. But maybe there's something totally different. I don't know. Uh-oh. Yeah, battery's flickering. Alright, on to the next one. Yeah, so we drove to the top. This is quite the view. There's the bridge down there in between the lakes. So this lake in front of me looks green. Maybe the other one looks blue. I don't know. Lots of hydrangeas up here. But that is quite the sight. It really was nice up there. Yeah, we drove over that bridge and took whatever roads we took up here, found some parking. And as you can imagine, there was a lot of people out here taking a look at this. That's the town down on the left, of course. And yeah, I mean, you can see the crater. Just, man, I would have loved to have taken a safe look at this when the thing was exploding, but didn't happen. And yeah, I saw this. May peace prevail on earth. That was just, yeah, I thought that was a nice thing to have here. And one day, things will be done on earth as they are in heaven. We all anxiously await that day. So this was the other side from the lakes. So this is the ocean view. And there's some more ginger. I actually pulled out my binos and spent a long time trying to find some whales out in the ocean. I failed miserably. Yeah, whale watching's coming up. I learned that one of the ways they do the whale watching is they have spotters along the shore who look for whales. And they used to do that when they were hunting them for real. Now it's just for sightseeing. But yeah, when you go out whale watching, at least on this island, you have spotters with probably very more powerful optics than my binoculars, looking for the signs of whales, you know, blow streams, whatever that's called. And then they radio to the boat captains about where they are. So this is just a sign about the park, protected landscape area. Don't know what that is. This was another lookout point. This was a sign marking the lookout point, so I guess I just took a picture of that. If you know what that says, then please share with me. I have not Google translated that one yet. Yeah, so this is another lookout from up high, obviously, looking at the lakes. So I'm going to ding up that White House we saw earlier. It's right down there. I can see it, but you can't see what I'm looking at. So I'll pause and make sure you can see it. That's just really beautiful. Oh, and this is the last segment. It snuck up on me. I was enjoying the scenery so much. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a really beautiful spot. If you ever are in São Miguel, I recommend a visit to Cidades. Up next, we got some whale watching. We got some canyoning. We got something else, I think. Oh, the hot springs. Yeah, stick around. Awesome stuff. You don't want to miss it.